Hello and welcome to Gapey's Grub. Today is an exciting day. It's time for our main crop fig tasting. We've got a few ripe figs in the yard, so we're gonna go ahead and harvest those and bring them to the party. So I still have a bunch of figs with bags around them on our Lattarula tree, so I'm gonna harvest those. Darn, unfortunately one of our Lattarula figs has quite a bit of mold on it, so I must have waited a little too long to harvest that one, but the other three look really good. One of them is a lot smaller than the others, but this one looks just perfect. Another one I'm going to be bringing is the Marius Black Greek. I've got 2 of these in the fridge that dropped a couple days ago that I'll bring, and then we've got a few more here that are ready to pick. I just noticed this one dropped probably either this morning or last night, so we'll take that one. And then we've got one here that is drooping pretty good, so this one should be ready to go. And we've got one more here that looks pretty ready, so we'll pick that one. So we've got 3 more, so I should have 5 of those to bring. You may have noticed I've got this yellow fig here in the basket as well. I just found this one dropped. This is one of the Robert's Golden Rainbows, and it still feels fairly firm, so it's not, I don't think it's going to be very good, and I don't want to bring just one fig of a variety because we are going to have around 30 people there, and one fig is not going to be enough. So I've arrived at the fig tasting, and our fig tastings are usually potlucks, so we've got lots of food to snack on and some other fruits. We've got some hardy kiwis, 2 different varieties. This is the salad that I brought. It's a kale and quinoa salad. Someone else brought this salad. We've got lots of snacks here. Anthony brought a beautiful flan, which he usually brings. And somebody brought some Popeye's chicken, which is super tasty. And also I brought some of my homemade mead. This is the Black Cap Raspberry Mead. And we're still waiting for a few people to arrive. But there's some pretty bad traffic, so they should be here soon.
So I also want to thank everybody who brought stuff, especially like all the chairs and the food and the fried chicken and everything. And then, you know, like this wasn't actually a lot of work for me. I've put on parties before, and this one was one of my least worked at party because Keith did all the work.
In past tastings has been 15, now we have around 30 today. And there's no shame if you started growing figs this year, and there's no shame if you didn't bring any figs. Everybody here was doing this at one time for the first time, and likewise with the rest of the fruit. So we're all here to have a good time and learn from one another. Cal came all the way from Vancouver, BC. I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool, man. Yeah, thank you. There's a lot of figs over here. So I just started, I guess this summer, I just grabbed a Desert King.
I brought white Madeira and LD and a Chinese Hawthorn.
Wow.
And this kind of name, I don't know, it's kind of very fragrant for people to enjoy.
That's osmanthus.
Yeah. I think white Madeira is really good for our area. I grow both on ground and in pot.
So I have about maybe 80 trees. I'm not really counting. I have maybe 20-ish in ground. The rest of them in pot. I have probably about 25 to 30 varieties.
So when I was an adult and finally had my own backyard, the first thing I planted was a fig tree. I'm very impressed with all the people that are in the Pacific Northwest Fig Group and their knowledge, and that's how I heard about this event, so thanks for opening it up to people like me. First had fresh figs when my neighbor grew a lot of Desert Kings in West Seattle, and he brought some to work a few times, and I thought they were just delicious, and I didn't realize figs grew here. Probably have about 35 different varieties, and most of those are in pots.
When I started eating figs fresh, I should say, actually from a tree, not from like some crap from the market or whatever, it blew me away. I love mulberries, pawpaws, chestnuts, and pears, grapes, persimmon, and apples. And so I brought a lot of apples here. And so this represents kind of a snapshot of some of my favorites in this ripening period. These were picked a little bit south of Eugene at my friend my late friend Nick Botner's orchard. He had the largest apple collection in the world, around 4,500 apples. Nick collected apples from all sorts of people, including around the world. He fought in World War II, and he, like, when people were like, did you get a permit for that? And he's like, I don't need a permit, I fought in World War II.
I grew up here in Tacoma eating Desert King, and only the last few years that I've started branching out and growing some other ones. I've been really impressed with Lattarula this year with both Breba crop and the main crop.
Got my first fig, a brown turkey, about 25 years ago. I live very close to the Restoring Eden nursery. I try not to go over there too often. As I read, there's supposed to be a lot better figs out there taste-wise than brown turkey and Desert King. So here I am.
Probably 40 at this point. You know, just it happens. I think my favorite one this year so far has been Campaniere. I had a really good Olympian main crop too.
I live near Buckley, so it's east of Tacoma, south of Seattle. It seems to be a little bit colder there, and definitely a shorter season. I always feel like my season starts later than everyone else closer to the sound. For example, none of my in-ground fig trees are ripening main crops yet at all. The only main crops I've gotten this season are in the greenhouse. I learned the hard way that you don't plant figs around here when they're dormant, because they almost always get damaged their first winter, not necessarily by cold, but by girdling from animals or deer scraping their antlers on it and barking them. So I found out as long as I plant it in the spring or summer when it's actively growing, I always have 100% survival no matter how badly they get damaged. I've got about 60 different varieties.
I have probably around between 70 to 80 varieties. I don't know what the actual number is. You
don't want to know.
You don't want to know, yeah. I'm growing 4 kinds of cactus because I'm trying to pollinate stuff. I was successful in one because when I tried to float the seeds, it sunk. So, and it's I'm trying to root it right now, so see if it works. So, I have a red Lebanese Bicao Valley that might be pollinated. So, I haven't tasted it yet. So we'll see.
I'm part of the 2020 club with Paula and Ramil. I've got about 35 to 40 varieties. I'm hoping that's about my max, so I can start whittling it down and removing the things that aren't going to work or aren't going to be as good.
I grew up eating a lot of stuff from the garden, and none of that stuff was figs, so I, subconsciously, I don't trust them still. After that tasting last year, I thought that, I loved a lot of varieties, and I thought, I only have space for 3 or 4 trees maybe. I had a bigger list of what I want to try and grow. Well, right now I have about 67 fig trees. Yeah, I don't know. I love that you can actually grow fig trees in pots and have fruit.
I have about 70 to 80 varieties now, and this year my favorite in-ground has been Black Marseille, but it's about 3 years old, the orchard, so it's hard to say, but this year Black Marseille was good for my area in Tacoma.
I heard there was a raspberry latte fig, and thought, man, I gotta try that thing. Turns out it doesn't taste anything like latte.
Got some figs, but I had no idea what I was doing. It really wasn't until 2020, like a lot of others here, that I really got bit by the fig bug, and I think I have probably over 100 varieties now. Maybe more like 150. The original goal was to only have about 20 trees. Maybe the original was to have 5 trees, but now it's to have 20 trees that are just my absolute favorites. So I'm working my way towards that.
I grew up with figs. Since I was 10, I was planting figs. I sell about 400, 500 pounds of figs every year. I'm retiring. If anybody want to come and lease my figs, I would welcome that. The varieties I grow are not very many, it's just 4 varieties. We find the Desert King and the Brown Turkey to be the most one I sell from. One client made that sign in my place that says King of Figs. I said, why? It's because you got most figs than anybody else in the state.
And then around 2016, I suddenly had this brainwave, which is like I get like hundreds of figs every year, and it's finished in 2 weeks. And and the raccoons come take most of them and break the branches. Why not I like graft on this tree and get like 20 different varieties or something like that? So then I downsized, so decided to grow other fruits like apples and loquats and feijoas and persimmons and pawpaws.
6 years ago, my Greek American neighbor came over with a plate of Desert Kings, and I was totally shocked. So I said, where did you get these? And he said, oh, my backyard. And I said, I thought figs only grew in places like Lebanon and Greece. And he said, no, they grow in Seattle. And so I bought my first trees from Bill Farhead here, about in 2017. I think I've got around 40 trees in the ground, different varieties, and some in pots.
We've got like 60 plus varieties of figs at our tasting. Some of them there's only one of, but others we've got quite a few. Like we've got Pastiliere there, quite a few of those. Quite a few Negrones. I was told this was actually taken all off of one tree that was in ground. We've even got some Black Madeira KKs. These had a big head start, but they're producing pretty well. And then we've got some LDA over here. Just a lot of varieties to try.
And yours definitely looks riper than mine. And yours is from in-ground, right? Very similar. And kids is in-ground and mine is hot.
I think you have a mislabeled tree. Yeah,
I got it from Restoring Eden.
Okay, so it's mislabeled tree. So they're longer. So the Osborne Prolific Neverella is long and seed crunch, whereas Burns Brown Turkey is like no seeds, like very little seed crunch.
But this to me looks like Chicago.
No, Chicago Heart is like small and black.
Color is like that.
I call it Osborne Prolific though. So
Your Chicago is looking like this?
Skin.
It'll be a long time.
You didn't know?
Oh, it's that one, yeah. Over there. That is Osborne.
I see them on the internet.
Oh yeah, that is absolutely Osborne Prolific.
See?
Yeah.
Then this is very, it's also
It's very
yellow,
but it's
black.
different.
Oh, it looks good.
Wow, crazy good. I mean, and this is early. Bordissot Negra, Ramada.
It's called LSU or
LSU Hollier.
Okay.
I get it.
Oh, thank you. Ooh, wow.
Look at that one.
That's
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
Paula,
Wow.
look at this. Show Paula. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And that's the tree that I grew. This is 2 years ago that I grew.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, tree. We have an extra tree that we did.
Good.
So I have a large, semi-large.
Another one of my favorites.
Wow,
Go ahead.
look at that.
Grab one.
Because we are.
I haven't seen that.
It's not as ripe, but it's still really good.
Yeah.
Do you have this one yet?
No. You're part of the art now.
Very good.
It's like
That is Negrone.
floral. There's floral taste to it.
Yeah.
But I think these taste really good.
Yeah.
I think they do.
This is from the same tree.
This is from H63A.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Do it.
This won Miss America.
I know you didn't try that yet because there's only one of them.
Yeah, but it's top red.
I'm sorry.
What is it?
I have no idea. I don't know what it is. I don't know who brought it.
We're gonna cut it and
Looks interesting.
like pizza.
It should be still pretty good.
When's the biggest fig here? Definitely.
Yeah, I wonder how much it weighed.
I mean, hey, this one 3.5 ounces. Because mine in Desert King in the summertime they come 4.2 ounces. There's no fig I don't like. I like all figs.
Okay.
Look at them. A lot of people are gonna come and tell me, I saw you about someplace where you're gonna put them.
You're gonna be famous.
Already famous.
He's already famous.
It's underripe.
Yeah, it's underripe, but
I mean, just kind of like a.
for salad it's excellent.
Yeah, it'd be good in a salad. It'd be really good in a salad. It's just a mild
Yeah, how about this one?
sugar taste to me.
It says it's called Dom Noir.
Very dark. How's it taste?
It's very similar.
Really good.
Man, small ears, amazing. This is the same as yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
I don't know.
It's,
Oh, I see.
It's a brown turkey. It's a brown turkey.
It's a brown turkey.
It's a good one, yeah.
But it has a ton of fruit. Like it's
Yeah.
it's
And
It only ripened for me in 2018. So
Okay. Yeah.
I had a basket of fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And even this one's probably not super ripe.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good fig though.
Okay.
I don't know why people don't like it. It's a good fig.
Maybe
Because it's common, people don't give it respect.
Which one should I try?
Fig slice?
You're gonna have to describe.
Try the Hollier. Try this one. It's a good one.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
The ripening
And
season.
also try the Longadude.
I haven't seen one.
And so just sort of like self.
What is everyone's favorite?
Good, right?
Nice. And you do that every now and then. Just go ahead. And
Yeah, very good.
It's highly.
I saw Florea's over there. Florea, I really like Florea.
Most of these are from Keith.
Okay.
Keith's probably provided like 70% of the figs around here.
Good.
I said they're changing each year, like the approved Celeste. Some of you guys are saying you liked that. It was really bland last year. I think something about the weather this year. Something about how it just
different.
It was a shorter season, but it was warmer.
Where was the other?
Sometimes double bag them. Actually, always double bag them. Bag and another bag, and then a larger bag. They are clever. They go into the bag, and I'm like, what happened to this bag? It seems fine, but inside it's all gone. Yeah.
Don't tell my crows that. they haven't figured it out yet.
Well, it's just a matter of time.
I know,
They'll
I
figure
know.
it out. They're smart. I think they have intergenerational communication like humans.
Oh.
I think they learn. Yeah.
Calvin?
Okay, I'll try one.
Try one of those.
I will.
Believe it or not, this looks terrible, but actually the softer and riper they are, the better it is. So I would try that or that. Either
That
one.
one is good. That's a good size one here. That's really.
Oh, like a dating website? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's very sweet as well.
This is really good. It's a French long de Dute. It means long of August. And
I didn't know that's what it meant.
What's that?
I didn't know that's what it
That's what I heard. And there's a Swiss variety. It's the same. Sometimes the same fig has two different names. And in Switzerland, they call it Nordland.
When you pick it off the tree, they fall off the tree and you can eat it right then. The seeds are not formed. You can just eat the seed. Actually, I haven't even tried these.
Oh, because they're not pollinated, right?
They're not pollinated, so they're just going to be fine. Just try them. They're very interesting. An American persimmon. Actually, smell it first.
Wow, smells
Smells like
candy.
Yeah.
They're very fragrant. Tastes like orange. A little bit orangey tasting.
But it's like the earthy flavors of ginger without.
To me, it tastes like raisins and rum.
Tastes like mango.
Really?
Yeah.
A little bit of that.
I can see that. I can see that.
And then also, these are grown under organic conditions. They've received for about 30 years now no supplemental water and no supplemental fertility. So I would say at least for 20 years. So that means that the orchard has heavy pressure of codling moth and a little bit of pressure, not as bad here for what's called apple maggot. And so you will find imperfections in those. If an apple tastes strange, then just try the next one, because it might just be something particular with that apple.
I really don't like this.
Did you try? I know. Did you try this?
Oh, this I haven't tried.
Yeah, this one is
What?
red. It looks like it.
That's right.
There's an apple in my yard. They have you see how this
Would you like a piece of apple?
Oh yeah, that's the apple maggot. Apple maggot.
Yeah, me too.
Got imagine.
Devonshire Crimson Queen. You got one?
Yes, please. I've heard it's good apparently.
Me too. Yeah. Is that the one you just gave me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. Yeah. It's.
And she's a miniature La Mancha dairy goat.
How big does she get?
She should get golden retriever size, but her mom is my smallest adult. She was the smallest baby I ever had survive. Flat on your hand. Hold it flat on your hand for her. There you go.
But she is more interested in my finger.
Well, everybody
Oh,
has
she got
yummy
it.
things on
Yeah.
their fingers right now.
I hope you enjoyed a glimpse into one of our Seattle fig and fruit tasting events. This one turned into more of a fig and apple tasting event because we had 30 varieties of apples to try that Chris Homonix brought. As far as figs go, we had right around 50 varieties of figs. Unfortunately, a lot of those varieties we only had one or two of, so not everybody got to taste all of the varieties. And we did it a little bit differently this year because we had so many people and so many figs. This was definitely our largest attendance. We had 25 people that came to this one. And normally when we do these fig tastings, we take each variety and kind of pass it around one at a time. But since there was so many people and so many figs, that just wasn't really gonna work out very well. So we kind of just made it a free-for-all, and people got to just gather around a table and try whichever ones that they wanted. In case you're wondering what the favorite fig was of the event, we don't actually do a formal rating. We haven't done that since our very first fig tasting. I think it was 3 years ago. But I was around the fig table for most of the event and was able to hear what other people were saying about the figs. It sounded like LSU Hollier was the favorite fig this year. There are a few others that are always at the top. There was Smith, I-258, Celeste was pretty good, but my favorite this year was the Col des Dames Noir. So that one just had really a lot of flavor. It was super dark, really dark purple. I don't think I've ever tried that one before. Unfortunately, that one does require a pretty big head start to ripen around here, so I don't think I'm going to add it to my collection. The one fig that I am going to add to my collection, though, is Détresse Espelette, DTE, it's known as. So we did have some of those, and that was really good, but that one is very productive, and it ripens early. It does both a main crop and a Brava crop, so I think I'm going to be rooting that one this year if I can find some cuttings. If you're in the Seattle area and interested in attending one of our events, we do have both the Brava and main crop tasting, and we plan on doing those again next year. If there is space available, we'll be posting about the event on the Pacific Northwest Figs group on Facebook, as well as the Our Figs forum. So keep your eyes out in those two places. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.